Okay. Vamos a empezar. Nora, did you get to see the picture? My scribbles?
I did.
Okay. I won't put that back up. Okay. Yeah. Shocking and blah. Okay.
They'll send you for tests for the next 5 years now. I'm
Oh,
sure.
yes. Oh, yes, of course. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Bueno, vamos a ver. Vamos a practicar con cosas fáciles pero interesantes. We're going to practice with some interesting and I hope kind of fun stuff. Most of our practice today, except for this opening bit, most of our practice today will revolve around this issue of cognates and having you use some cognates in kind of independent ways, hopefully in some smaller group work, but we'll start off all together with that so that you kind of see what I want you to do patterned before you go off into smaller groups and do it. So that's going to be most of it. And this will kind of bleed into a little of looking at words we really like to use with both ser and estar. This will happen next week, ser and estar, but things that start to change meanings. So, it's going to be kind of a vocabulary thing for the next couple of weeks, but always feel free to email me your suggestions for things you desperately want to cover. And I am, it's not like I have a set curriculum. You guys are not taking tests on any specific thing. And so
Can I ask one really quick question?
Sí, claro, sí.
In that cute video where the man ripped through all the cognates, I noticed
he did rip through.
Yo. Aquí mando yo. I'm the boss here. Why?
Yeah.
Well, just tell me briefly about that yo.
Oh, why do they bother
in a
you?
weird place back there.
Yeah. Sí. Aquí mando yo. And that would be the normal way. That would be the normal word order. Yeah, I rule here. I'm the one who gives the orders here.
Right.
The yo is just being very emphatic.
Okay.
So we do that. We do that with the being emphatic in Spanish often involves actually using the pronoun instead of dropping it.
Okay.
What we're taught to do, which is absolutely correct, is one way to sound more natural and less gringo-like is to, hey, stop using those words like yo, tú, nosotros, Don't say nosotros hablamos. Don't say yo hablo. Just hablo, just hablamos, just hablas. Okay. And that is correct. However, when people in Spanish want to be emphatic and where we might say, hey, I'm the boss here. And in English, we'll go, I'm the boss. Yeah. The way you do that in Spanish is just by adding the word yo.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually using it. And that makes it emphatic.
Okay.
Simple little thing. Yeah. Okay. We're going to start off with a mental exercise. I'm going to play our little Carlitos video, which I know it's a bit out of season now, but I'm going to play it and do kind of a running commentary because a few people during the week had asked some questions about, there were a few little blippy words she used in there that I didn't catch. What was this? What was that? So I'm going to do a little running commentary with that so that you know exactly how it would be, how exactly that would sound in English in our Carlitos, the naughty and nice list video. Yeah, the naughty and nice list. Okay, so we're going to start that both for purposes of listening comprehension and just to kind of follow up with anything you might not have gotten the first time. And you probably got the main idea. It's not that you didn't get the gist of it. Can everybody see our Santa Claus? See? Give me a bit. See, okay. Vale, magnifico. Great. Okay, let me make that bigger. I'm going to do just a running commentary as she goes, so that these the little holes of the Swiss cheese will get filled in now. Okay.
Hoy viene Papá Noel a la casa de Carlitos.
Today Santa Claus is coming to
Pero
Carlitos' house.
Carlitos estará en
But will Carlitos be? Estará is future. Just so you know, it's used in relatively limited times. But will Carlitos be on a list?
la lista de niños buenos
Will he be on the
o
good
en
kid
la
list?
lista de niños malos.
Or on the list of bad kids?
Esta noche es 24 de diciembre.
Tonight is 25th of December. And, this, of course, is a little bit dated, but it's okay.
Es 24 de diciembre.
And that's the way we say dates. Sí, I would use an el 24, but some people drop the el. Es el 24 de diciembre. Okay. We use the date first and then the month. Okay.
El día antes de Navidad.
The day before Christmas. Antes de, and you need that kind of together. Antes de is before.
Carlitos está muy emocionado.
Carlitos is not emotional. No. Emocionado looks like a cognate, but it kind of isn't. He's very excited. Emocionado is kind of a fake cognate. Emotional, we kind of tag in English as, oh gosh, she's emotional, she's kind of worked up, right? But it doesn't mean that at all. Emocionado is the word for excited. It's very important to always use something like emocionado to say excited, not excitado, because excitado means horny, and you don't want to use that. But he is excited. Emocionado. Excitado looks like excited, but it means horny. So don't use that. But excited, emocionado is a great word. Está muy emocionado. He's very excited.
Muy feliz.
He's very happy.
Porque esta noche,
because tonight,
Papá Noel
Santa is coming.
A su casa.
And viene a su casa is coming to his house. We'd probably phrase that in English as is coming. I know it's not the ing, it's just viene, but that's generally what will be used. He's coming to his house. Carlitos says,
buenas noches.
Good night.
A su papá.
To his dad.
Y a su mamá.
And to his mom.
Carlitos dice buenas noches.
Carlitos says good night.
Se va a dormir.
And he goes off to sleep.
A su cama.
He goes off to his bed.
Se va a su cama a dormir.
And you'll notice she says se va instead of ba. Why can't you just say ba a su cama? Because she felt like saying se va. And se va just gives it a little twist, a little turn up. Well, he takes off for bed. He goes off to bed, right? We would use the word off. And off doesn't mean he falls off his bed. No, he goes off to sleep. He goes off to bed. Yeah. All right. So we have these little twists of words that we throw in too, like off. And they just have that little twist for them is the se word. It's just there. No big sweat. Se va a su cama. He takes off for bed.
Pero Carlitos no puede dormir.
Carlitos cannot sleep.
Muy emocionado.
He's very excited.
Carlitos espera.
He waits.
Espera,
and he's waiting.
Espera,
and he's waiting.
Y muy tarde,
very, very late
noche,
at night.
Carlitos oye
Carlitos hears a sound.
Abajo, en el salón.
Below, downstairs,
se levanta
in the living room.
De la cama.
He gets up out of bed
baja
and he walks down
the
stairs
de su casa, baja las escaleras hasta el salón.
Down to the living room.
Carlitos va al salón.
Carlitos goes
Y
to the
ve
living room and he
a Papá
sees,
Noel.
he sees,
Papá Noel está
he sees Santa.
dejando los regalos
Papá Noel está dejando los regalos. Santa is leaving the gifts. And notice she does not say, deja los regalos, which would mean he's leaving gifts. But the feel she wants to give is, as he's looking, this is going on right at the same time, in real time while he watches. So she switches over to that thing we call present progressive. The literally constructed is leaving behind. Okay, dejar, one meaning of dejar, one meaning, because there are many, is to leave something behind, like you leave a tip behind. Okay, or you are putting gifts in, you're leaving them for someone. Okay, not leaving out the door, but leaving something behind. So he is, he's putting those gifts under the tree. And the dejando is the ing part. And she wants to give the feel that this is happening while he's looking. So she puts it into está dejando. Okay.
regalos debajo del árbol de Navidad.
They're underneath.
Papá
The
Noel
gifts are underneath the
deja
Christmas tree.
los regalos debajo
Santa leaves the
del
gifts
árbol de Navidad.
under the
Papá
Christmas tree.
Noel deja un regalo
He
para
leaves
mamá,
one gift for mom,
un regalo para
a
papá
gift for dad,
y un regalo para Marina,
and a
la
gift for Marina,
hermanita de Carlitos.
Carlitos'
Un
little
regalo
sister.
para la hermanita pequeña
A gift for
de
the
Carlitos.
baby sister.
Carlitos grita,
The ita tagged onto hermanita just means little sister. It makes her little. Ita can also be an affectionate ending. Okay. Juanito, Johnny. Yeah. It's added onto names. It's added onto nouns. Yeah. Ito or ita makes it small or precious or dear. That's what it does. And now she's going to say that Carlitos yells something out. And grita, gritar means to shout or to yell.
Papá Noel,
He yells,
¿dónde
Santa,
está mi regalo?
where's my gift?
¿Dónde está mi regalo?
Where's my gift?
¿Dónde está? Entonces, Papá Noel
So
mira
Santa
su lista
looks at
de
his
niños
list
buenos
of good children
y su lista
and his
de
list
niños malos.
of bad kids.
Papá Noel mira su lista.
Santa looks
mira
at his
su
list.
lista, y Papá Noel ve
And
que
notice that lista is a nice cognate. Yeah. So, yeah, feel free to use that in the future.
Carlitos
Carlito-
está en la lista de niños malos.
Santa sees that Carlitos is on the list of bad kids, which for those of you who have been before, Carlitos is a long-running character, and Carlitos continually gets into trouble. Carlitos is like the Spanish twin of my oldest son. And yeah, he's on the bad list. Carlitos is about 8, para que sepan, so you guys know. He's about 7 or 8.
Papá Noel le dice a Carlitos.
Papá Noel le dice, says to him, the le just means to him, says to Carlitos, says to him,
Carlitos, tú estás en
Carlitos,
la lista de niños
you're
malos.
on the bad kid list.
Tú no recibirás un regalo.
You will not get a gift. Recibirás, you'll notice it as again, like estará is a future tense. Just know it means will happen instead of is happening. You will not receive a gift. You will not get a gift.
Recibirás carbón.
You will get
Tú recibirás
coal.
carbón porque tú has sido un niño malo.
because you have been a bad kid. The has sido just means you have been. It's a more, yeah. And you'll notice she just every once in a while throws out it's a different verb tense. It just says you have been. Has sido. Sido comes from ser. And the us is the you have been. Not have as an own, but you've been a bad kid. Okay.
Y los niños malos
And bad kids
reciben carbón.
get charcoal, get coal.
Carlitos
Get coal.
contesta, él contesta, pero yo
Carlitos contesta, and you recognize that one. It does not mean a contest. It means answer. Carlitos answers, right? What?
no soy un niño malo.
But I'm not
Yo
a bad
soy
kid.
un niño bueno.
I'm good at kid.
Yo
I'm a good
soy
kid.
un niño muy bueno.
I'm a very good kid.
Entonces, Papá Noel le dice a
Then
Carlitos,
Santa says to Carlitos,
si tú quieres estar en la lista
if
de
you want to
niños
be
buenos,
on the good kid
tú
list,
tienes que venir conmigo y
you have to come with me, and tienes que is obligation. You have to come conmigo, with me. Okay. We'll talk a little bit more next week about this tienes que. Again, tienes que venir. You have to come with me
ayudarme. Tú
and
tienes
help
que
me.
ayudarme a repartir
You have to help
los
me.
regalos.
You have to help me. And repartir is a verb you've never seen before, but you have to help me to
Deliver.
distribute, give out. Yeah. Repartir means to give to many people, meaning distribute, hand out, dole out. Okay. You have to help me give out the gifts
los regalos a todos los niños.
to all the kids.
Entonces, Carlitos
Then
y Papá
Carlitos
Noel
and
van
Santa
en el trineo
go
de
in the
Papá
sleigh.
Noel.
Trineo is just sleigh.
Ellos van en el trineo de Papá Noel
They go in the
a
sleigh
repartir los regalos por
to hand out
todas las
gifts
casas.
to all the
Ellos
houses.
van a todas las casas.
They go to all the houses.
Van a todas las casas y ellos entran por
And
la
they
chimenea.
Go in. Oh, they
por
go
la
down
chimenea de
the.
las casas.
They go in through the
Ellos
chimney.
entran por la chimenea y dejan los regalos
And they leave
debajo
behind the
de los
gifts
árboles de Navidad.
under the
Ellos
Christmas
dejan los
trees.
regalos en todas las casas.
They leave the gifts
Debajo
in all the
de
houses
los árboles de Navidad.
under the Christmas
Ellos
trees.
dejan regalos
They the
en
gifts and
todas las
gifts.
casas.
And she
Dejan
does this
regalos
repetition
en
so that you
todas
know
las casas.
regalos means a gift.
Después ellos vuelven a casa de Carlitos.
Then
Ellos
later they
regresan
go back.
a la casa de Carlitos.
They go back to Carlitos's house. Vuelven a casa means the same thing as regresan a la casa. It's like us saying return to versus go back to. Means the same thing. Yeah. And these verbs, vuelven a casa, regresan a casa, both mean go back home, return home. Go back and return mean the same thing. They're just two different verbs that convey that same idea. And they're plain old present tense. Vuelven a casa, they go back home. Regresan a casa, they return home.
Entonces Papá Noel le dice a
Then
Carlitos,
Santa says to Carlitos,
Carlitos, tú has sido muy bueno
you have been very good
esta noche.
tonight.
Tú puedes recibir un regalo.
You can get a gift.
¿Qué regalo quieres?
What gift do you want? And again, next week, you're going to have a little video that will revisit a lot of these verbs you've heard a lot in this video, like tener que and quieres and puedes. And you'll see why
¿Qué
later.
regalo? ¿Quieres un coche?
What
¿Un
gift do you want?
cochecito?
Do you want a little toy
¿Quieres
car?
un cochecito? ¿Quieres un coche?
Want a little car?
¿O quieres una pelota?
Or do you want
¿Quieres
a ball?
una pelota? ¿O quieres un puzzle?
Or do you
¿Quieres
want a
un
puzzle?
puzzle?
And puzzle is used a lot in
Carlitos
Spain.
piensa. Él piensa.
He thinks and he
Él
thinks.
piensa.
He thinks a lot.
Un coche.
Hmm.
Una pelota.
He's thinking about his choices. He's not happy about these choices.
Carlitos piensa y piensa y dice,
Then he says,
ya sé,
now
yo
I
quiero
know.
carbón. Ay, Dios mío,
I
Carlitos
want,
es un niño muy loco.
carbon. I want coal. He's a
Carlitos
crazy
no
kid.
quiere regalos.
He doesn't want gifts.
Carlitos quiere carbón.
He
A
wants,
la mañana siguiente,
charcoal, coal.
Carlitos es muy
And the following morning, and this little thing is a chunk that's helpful for you to know. La mañana siguiente is literally the following morning, but we would say probably next morning or next day. Yeah. And when you want to say the next day, there are different ways to do that in Spanish, but this is a very common one. La mañana siguiente, or it could be el día siguiente. If we change the word mañana to día, we could say el día siguiente, the next day, the following day. It's a structure to know. Siguiente is going to say next. Okay. El día siguiente, la mañana siguiente, así, like that.
feliz jugando con su
He's a happy kid.
carbón.
And notice she doesn't say he feels happy. She says he's a happy kid. He's a happy kid. Es muy feliz. Playing. And there is one of those rare times when we see the ing word not attached to a second verb. He's a happy kid playing with his piece of coal. Okay.
Este niño, ¿verdad?
What a crazy kid. Okay. Y es el fin. There's the end. So, little running commentary so you understand exactly what they meant by all of that. And because sometimes we get hung up a little bit on some of those little words, but the main, just even if you didn't know some of those little special structures that she happened to use, the main big idea, you probably did not have that many holes in the Swiss cheese. You probably could pick up the main idea in most of that. And that was the point. Okay. A ver. Bueno, entonces vamos a practicar con cognados. We are going to practice with cognates. And you're right. The first cognate video you had with El Venezolano, the Venezuelan guy, he went through pretty damn fast, and it's like hit the pause button, right? And by the way, there was one thing he talked about that you may have wondered, what is that item? And I'm going to show you what that item is. Uy, ¿dónde está?
Una cerveza.
No, cerveza. Ya saben, cerveza. You guys already know the cerveza thing. Well, I'm going to have to show you via this other way. Okay. A ver. He kept talking about milanesa.
Yeah.
Many times he refers to milanesa. Milanesa is this. It's a fried steak. It's a fried steak.
Oh.
There is no reason you as estadounidenses would know what a milanesa is, right? He kept throwing in that word milanesa. What Milanese? What the heck is that? Okay, it's a fried steak. It is popular in South America. Para que sepa. So see, there's one of those holes in the Swiss cheese things that could have been a little bit confusing. Okay. But the point was there are a lot of cognates, and some are what they call perfect cognates. I mean, an exact match. others are pretty close cognates. And so I want us to do some practice with cognates today and maybe expand on that. And you don't need to take like super wild, copious notes, although you may want to have a little something to scribble with just when you work later on. I am going to send you all of these files on the email after class, but práctica de cognados, you'll see this same exact thing. We're going to use some cognates and expand them. This first page we'll actually do together. Let's make, voy a engrandecer todo. And the good thing about cognates is that, you know, it helps you to pick up and start using words that you're already kind of familiar with, you know. Oh, this sounds like something I know in English, so I can pick up some vocabulary on the cheap really quickly. But the double-edged sword, the bad part of cognates is your brains will tend to want to say it as if it were an English word because you know it so well. So I want to take a look at some of these cognates, and we're going to practice with these now. What I'm going to have you do through class today is to use a number of cognates, and it'll be, you know, after we flip through this page, you'll be doing it away from me in smaller groups. I want you to make sure you focus when you practice with these, when we all practice with these together, focus on saying these the right way so that they sound like a Spanish word. So, you know, your English brain wants to say alcohol, right? But we need to pronounce it alcohol. Alcohol. And we just draw out the O, because remember, this is our one letter that is silent, but then that means we got two O's literally next to each other. Yeah. So we just drag out the O sound, which normally we don't do in Spanish. O is short, but alcohol, alcohol. And we punch the end. Yeah. Alcohol, alcohol. Okay. Y vamos a practicar. So we're going to kind of model what I want you to do later in smaller groups right now all together. Vamos a crear. Vamos a hablar, vamos a decir una frase corta, a short sentence using the cognate words. And we're going to really focus on saying them the Spanish way, not the way your English brain so desperately wants to say it. So, okay, si podemos usar alcohol en una frase, if we can use alcohol in a sentence, it might be something like, uy, el alcohol no es muy bueno para la salud. Alcohol is not super great for your health. Oh, por ejemplo, me gusta mucho el alcohol cuando voy al restaurante. I like alcohol when I go to a restaurant. Me gusta el alcohol. But I want to make sure you don't pronounce it as me gusta el alcohol. No, alcohol. Alcohol. So kind of help coach each other if you slip into an English pronunciation. See? Okay. Oh, por ejemplo, artificial. Artificial. No se pronuncia artificial.
No.
No. So, okay, cuidado entonces, ¿sí? Artificial. Artificial. Bien, artificial quiere decir artificial, pero no show. Artificial. Artificial, por ejemplo, mucha gente, many people, mucha gente tiene un árbol de Navidad artificial. Un árbol artificial, mejor decir, un árbol artificial de Navidad. A lot of people have a fake Christmas tree, right? Artificial, artificial, fake, not real, artificial. O, por ejemplo, esta palabra muy Útil, muy útil, cable. Cable might refer to your TV service if you have such a thing. O cable es esto. Cable. Un cable. This is a cable too, right? Sí, es un cable. Por ejemplo, sí, por ejemplo, mis audífonos tienen un cable muy largo. Mis audífonos tienen un cable muy largo. Ok. Por ejemplo, capital. Una frase muy fácil. Sí. Ottawa es la capital del Canadá. Ottawa es la capital. O, por ejemplo, París es la capital de Francia, por ejemplo. Ok. Debate, sí, no es debate. Sí, es debate, pero se pronuncia, it's pronounced debate. A veces la gente, a la gente le gusta el debate político. Political debate. Some people like that, ¿sí? Error es un cognado muy exacto, ¿sí? Error or mistake, okay? Okay. Little interesting note I'm going to add in here with error. We use the verb cometer usually with this word, cometer. We usually don't say hacer un error, make. The word hacer does mean make, but generally, yeah, this one I want to show you literally. Generalmente, no cometo muchos errores. Generally, I don't make a lot of mistakes. In Spanish, that's expressed not with hacer, not with hacemos or hago errores. It's cometo errores in general, okay? Para que sepan, so you know. Bueno, entonces, sí, esta palabra aquí, general. Sí, general. Your English brain will really want to pronounce that as general, or something like that. We should not do that. General. Sí, general. Okay. And general is a name for a top-notch guy in the army. And just to say general, okay? Por ejemplo, and this is a good chunk for you to learn. Por lo general, tomo 2 tazas de café. Generally, I drink, I take 2 cups of coffee, okay? Por lo general is a nice chunk to know. Por lo general, when you want to say you usually do something. Por lo general, tomo 2 tazas de café. So that's an example of how we might use that. Okay. Let's switch and look at the second column and see if anybody here can feed out a little simple sentence using this word idea. Which does mean idea, exactly. And I won't see your hand going up because I'm sharing a screen. So if you have a little simple sentence you can share, throw it out there.
No tengo ninguna idea.
No tengo ninguna idea. No tengo ninguna idea. Es buen ejemplo. That is a really good example. Es muy buen ejemplo. No tengo ninguna idea. I got no idea. I have no clue. No tengo ninguna. And we just make that a ninguna instead of ninguna. No tengo ninguna idea. But, you know, if you made that mistake and said no tengo ninguna idea, somebody would understand what you mean. It just sounds a little off to them, but they would know what you mean. Okay. They wouldn't be wildly puzzled because you used a wrong gender. So don't let that flummox you. No tengo ninguna idea. Magnífico. Okay. Aquí. Y es importante pronunciar idea, no idea. 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 Okay. Industrial. Can somebody cook up something simple? That one's a little bit harder, maybe.
New Jersey es en industrial ciudad.
En una ciudad industrial, sí, una ciudad industrial, an industrial city, sí. O, por ejemplo, Gary, Indiana, es una ciudad industrial. Bien, sí. Pittsburgh es una ciudad industrial. Así, like that, sí.
Mi esposo trabaja en un negocio industrial.
Perfecto, perfecto, sí. Mi amigo es ingeniero industrial. He's an industrial engineer. Sí, así, ok. Vale, bueno, kilo es, es para hablar de cuánto pesa. It talks about how much something weighs, yeah? A kilo is a little over 2 pounds, 2.2 pounds, if you want to get technical. But anytime you buy produce or meat abroad, generally they use kilos, where they don't use pounds very much. So kilo, and you might use medio kilo, which would mean
half a kilo.
a half a kilo, which means about a pound. It'll be a little bit more than a pound. Okay. And kilo is one of the odd words that has a K, that letter K, which only comes from words that come into Spanish from a foreign language. So kilogram was developed in European theater, I believe. So, you know, it came in from that. So they kept the K. Okay. But kilograma is shortened to kilo because it's easier. Okay. Una frase. Sentence con kilo.
Un kilogram de manzana cuesta $6.
Okay. Bien. Un kilo de manzanas cuesta $6, ¿sí? Un kilo de, a kilo of, a couple pounds of. Exacto, perfecto. Okay. Original. Sí.
Es una idea original.
Es una idea original, ¿sí? Bien. Sí, tienes una idea original. And notice with original, we don't have to make it into a feminine form. It's one of those adjectives that, because it does not end in o, it is the same thing for masculine or same thing for feminine. It's always original, unless you make it plural, originales. Okay. Bueno, reunión is kind of a cognate, but could be reunion, but we would call that a meeting. Yeah. So still, it's close enough. Reunión, this is something that people talk about a lot. Meetings are a common thing. Reunión en una frase.
Tengo una reunión con mi abogado.
Tengo una reunión con mi abogado. I've got a meeting with my lawyer. Muy bien. Sí.
Reunion, just familia.
Sí, familia, sí, con mi familia, sí, una reunión con mi familia. Tengo una reunión con mi jefe. I've got a meeting with my boss. Tengo una reunión a las 2 con mi jefe. Bien, reunión. Okay. Y social, and we're going to show you something special about social soon. Social, yeah, and well, this is one of these words we have to fight to get the right pronunciation. No es social, no social.
Social.
Una frase. Anybody got a sentence with social?
Él no es una persona social.
Soy una persona social, sí. Mi esposo es una persona muy social.
Soy una trabajadora de social.
Social, sí. Okay. I am going to show you something special about this word social, which is used a lot, and we're going to combine it with a second.
What is a social butterfly?
That's kind of that's a slang. But here's something you will
cannot say a social mariposa.
You will either, as you get along, see this term, this 2-word set of rules. Redes sociales. And red is one of the things they talk to you about. That red does not mean red, the color. Red means a net. So we would look at, well, a net social, a social net. What the heck?
Facebook.
Social nets? What is that thing? Las redes sociales means social
Networks.
media.
Yeah.
Social
media.
Yeah. Okay. So when we talk about, and I'm trying to even think of the English word term for it, the social network, being on Facebook, being on Instagram, all those things are part of las redes sociales. Okay. Redes sociales is, what they use.
But that's the social butterflies. Is that the translation literally? Or is this not the same, right?
I need to see. A ver, momentito. I don't think
social mariposa.
I don't think that mariposa is used in that way.
That's right. That's a literal translation.
Pero,
Is it English? It's more English.
That's right.
Well, yeah, no estoy segura. I'm not like super. Quizás. Well, see, yeah, apparently that they do a literal translation on that. That's kind of unusual. Sí, mariposa social, sí. Mariposa social, okay. ¿Quién sabía? Who knew? Okay. Excelente. A ver, bueno, entonces, okay, but you have an idea from what we did together, what I would like you to do when you go off into smaller groups. Now, here I may want you to just quickly jot down a couple of notes. I'm not going to have you do a great, big, huge, long chunk of these. I think maybe 5 at a time is going to be good. Hang on. Perdón. Momentito. So yeah, be prepared to jot down. Let's take these 5 words. Cancelar. See if you can use it in a full sentence. Producto. And I want you to practice saying the words as they should be said when you go into your smaller groups and do this. Admirar, completar, and formulario. Formulario means a formula. You know what? Maybe let's not do this word. I was just jotting some things down. He said, use either one of these, either formulario or violencia, either one of those two. Okay. But see if you can use these other words, which are nice cognates. And notice when you've got a verb like cancelar or admirar or completar, these are all regular verbs. And you may want to use it, change it into a conjugated verb, or you may want to leave it as is and add on another verb in the front so you don't have to conjugate it. So voy a cancelar, right? Or no puedo cancelar, I can't. And in that case, you don't have to, when you add on another verb to it, you don't have to conjugate the cancelar. But it would be a good little extra thing for you to do to see if you can conjugate that verb, since those are all very, very, very regular. Okay. And I want you to practice those. I will try to send those off into your groups. And this time I'm not going to join a group. I'm going to send you off. So if you feel like you're kind of like a little more newbie and you're just kind of guessing, don't worry about it. Just do your best. That 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Necesitamos. I'm going to want you to be in about a group of 3 people. Vamos a ver más o menos. Yeah, we've got about 3 in most of those groups. And I'm going to let you go off just for 5 minutes and see if you can use those. And I'll try to send those words into your groups. Está bien? Good?
Okay.
And if you're a little more newbie, just kind of listen and say, well, I'm a little more newbie. And try to make a sentence. But if you can't, don't worry about it too much. Okay? Está bien? But listen to the examples and help correct each other if you start to anglicize. Don't anglicize those words. And hit your join button. And I got to get my share screen on. 5 minutos, 5 minutes. I got to set my timer. Mi reloj. Ok. Bien. Y vamos a ver, 5 minutos solamente. Estamos a 2 minutos. A ver, sí, ok. Magnífico. Como por ejemplo, no puedo cancelar mi vuelo. Tengo un producto nuevo para limpiar mi cocina. No admiro mucho a los políticos. I don't admire politicians very much. Los obreros, the workers, van a completar la valla. The workers are going to complete my fence. Yay! Sí, guay, ole. Okay, we're about halfway through our little mini exercise. Oh, casi estamos a 5 minutos. We're almost up to 5 minutes. Bueno, vamos a reunirnos con toda la clase en 1 minuto. Bien, 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 bien. Okay, aquí vienen. Here comes everybody else. I think, creo, en 1 minuto. Oh, okay. And people will come on back as they finish up. Bien, bien. Got a few more folks coming on back. We'll see if you have any interesting examples to show or talk about. Bien, bien, bien. Aquí vienen todos. Here comes everybody back. Here comes everybody back. And this is a good little exercise to do because it forces you to create a simple sentence and also to work on not anglicizing that word, which is really, really hard. Your brain very desperately and very normally wants to do that. Okay. If you feel like, oh, shoot, I know I mean for it to come out this way. This is why we have to practice pronouncing it the right way so that we can be understood when we speak using these words. Okay. So it's easier for people who are listening to us to understand what we're saying. Okay. A ver. Hay algunos ejemplos interesantes. Any interesting examples you want to share with the big group?
I have a question.
Sí.
This is on completar.
Sí.
And I ended up using a lot of verbs, so I'm not sure what's right. So I said, yo puedo completar limpiando mi casa hoy.
Okay. Okay. It would be a little more natural probably to say, puedo completar la limpieza de mi casa. La limpieza means the cleaning. It's a noun by itself. La limpieza. Yeah. Would somebody understand you if you said limpiando? Yes, they would understand you. Okay. But it sounds a little more natural. Puedo completar la limpieza. I can finish the cleaning. And limpieza means that activity of cleaning. Bien? Es buena frase. Good sentence. And notice you can combine, and then we're previewing what I'm going to ask you to listen and think about for next week. We can combine puedo, I can, with completar. Puedo completar. Or we could combine voy a completar. Or we could combine tengo que, I have to, completar. Okay. So if you don't want to conjugate that verb completar, you can combine it with simpler verbs that you already know how to conjugate. All right. But completar is a regular verb. So I could say, completo la limpieza hoy. I'm finishing the cleaning today. So there are a variety of things that are acceptable, that are workable. Okay. So don't automatically think, oh, the way I said it was wrong. We want to go with what is most natural, but sometimes there are variations of what we can do. Okay. Otro ejemplo.
Marilyn, can I ask you one question?
Sí.
How would you spell limpieza? I want
to. Limpieza. Okay. A ver, limpieza. I'll put it up on the big board you can see here. La limpieza means the cleaning, and that means the process of cleaning. Yeah, the process of cleaning.
It's a noun.
It's a noun, yeah. And notice that, the buried in limpieza is that bigger part, which, limpiar means to clean. So, and you can very, very often use these clues. It won't help you 100% of the time, but it again will get you to, oh, here's the gist of what they're saying. Yeah. We can take a word like limpiar, and there might be different kinds of words that are built. It'll take limpiar as a base and change it into a different, a different part of speech, to use it in a different way. That's all that does. We're putting limpiar in a different form, the form of a noun. La limpieza. That's it.
Is iesa
a suffix?
Yeah.
It is, but it's not something you can uniformly peg onto everything.
Like another example.
Suffixes, just like we have many suffixes in English. So I'll write in a few examples. Like we've got shun, we've got we've got this, we've got this, which is pretty close, right? We've got ing for some nouns. We do. Yeah. Cleaning, working is a pain in the neck. Oh, okay, fine. Yeah. But working is really functioning as a noun in a sentence like that. Right. But I can't tell you, you can always tag on an ing, you can always tag on a shun. Yeah. It depends on the word. And that is going to hold true in Spanish too. So this thing here is a suffix, which means, oh, I'm dealing with a noun, a thing. But I can't just take that easy A and tag it onto any old word indiscriminately all the time, 100%. It's going to use, they're going to use different suffixes, just like we use different suffixes.
Is it perhaps something that there is a process of doing? I was just thinking perhaps that.
Like to get to this word, limpieza, you mean?
That might be.
There is no one process I can give you. There's no one process I can give you. They're all going to be different, and you just learn it as you hear people using those words.
Thank you.
Would it be listed, like limpieza would be listed as a noun if we had lists of nouns and verbs? That would be an official noun.
That's a noun. La mujer de limpieza, la persona de limpieza, the cleaning person. The person who comes in to do the cleaning. Yeah. Sí, es así. Sometimes you hear people referring to, if you're in an office building and you don't really see the cleaning crew that much, but, el señor de limpieza, la señora de limpieza viene hoy. The cleaning person is coming today. And, you don't know them personally. You just know it's a crew of people. Yeah. Limpieza, cleaning, the people who do that job. But I can't tell you that easy A or like, oh, if a word looks like this, you add on easy A. You just kind of have to learn each one as you go along. Okay. Okay.
How about admirar? Does it need between that and the person?
If you are saying you admire a person, yes, you need an Okay. Tu ejemplo, your example.
Okay.
Admiro George Washington.
Exacto. Admiro a George Washington. Admiro mucho, very much. Admiro mucho a George Washington.
Okay.
Admiro mucho a Martin Luther King. Admiro mucho a los astronautas.
Oh, okay. Even then, it's not a specific person, but it's people.
Sí, un grupo de personas igual. Admiro mucho a los astronautas. Admiro tu nuevo carro. I'm admiring your new car.
Then no
No because it's not a person.
Yeah. Okay.
¿Sí? Bien. Okay. Vale. ¿Hay otro ejemplo? Any other example with those? ¿Sí o no?
Which one? The admiro?
With any of these verbs, any examples you use that you want to share that you thought were clever or good or super great?
I'm not sure about that, but there is a...
Hay mucho Valencia en Scottsdale ayer.
Había mucha violencia en Scottsdale ayer. Yeah. There was a lot of violence. Yeah, mucha violencia.
De verdad?
Verdad.
Sí.
Wow. ¿Qué violencia?
Por ejemplo.
Okay. Bien. Okay. Let's move on. Let's grab a few, and I'm not going to grab all these words. I'm going to put the next group. So you'll want to scribble these down. I'm going to talk about why I'm not choosing other words. I was just grabbing things that he had thrown out. I'm going to grab and highlight, put in bold some the next 5 words I want you to practice in smaller groups. And I'm putting these in bold because I think these are much more commonly used terms. And I'm going to tell you why. Automóvil is a perfectly great word, but you know, a lot of people are going to shorten that to auto. Auto. Instead of automóvil. You might hear very well automóvil, right? Automobile. But you might hear auto, you might hear carro, you might hear coche, you might hear any of those things to refer to a vehicle with metal moving parts that we get into and drive down the street, right? But we're going to look at the ones I have in bold, which are artista. And remember, artista does not have to be visual arts. Artista can refer to people who sing, to people who dance, to people who do anything of a performance nature, okay? Artista. Artista could be applied to cooks. Yeah, we can apply that word very broadly as we do in English. Artista. I want you to use in a sentence atractivo, atractivo. And you can say that something is or is not attractive, okay? Totalmente. Totalmente, you may hear quite a lot. This mente is an equivalent to this little thing in English. So if you know total means total, and it does, totalmente means totally. So totalmente is often used to say something is absolutely a certain way or completely a certain way. It's totally this, it's totally that, totally acceptable, absolutely acceptable.
Can it be
No
like,
doubt about it, acceptable or great, totally great, absolutely great, no doubt about it, great. Totalmente is a great describer to use in that situation. Totalmente, yeah, is used a lot. Brillante, brillante. And remember that double L, it's acceptable to pronounce it in a number of variations, either brillante, just a ya, brillante, or brillante with a little j, a little j. Ooh, perdón, excuse me a minute. I've got my contractor. I'll be right back.
Did anybody else get kicked off when you entered your Zoom subgroup?
No, no.
Okay,
no.
hang on, I've got.
Did you?
Yeah, I got kicked out completely when I clicked on the subgroup.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, no.
Maybe you were
I should-
supposed to be in group 5. We only had 2.
I was supposed to be in group 4.
Oh,
I clicked on 4 and it just. Nothing
Kicked
happened.
you out?
It kicked me out completely.
Really? And you were not with Marilyn?
Don't know how to use that in that.
No,
it kicked you out totalmente.
totalmente. Totalmente. Sí.
Totalmente.
Bueno.
Oh.
Totalmente.
Maybe you're doing something like
Totalmente. Yep, you're right. I said it wrong.
totalmente.
Totalmente.
Ay, a ver, disculpen. A ver, disculpen. Pardon me, perdón. Sí. Oh, the contractor needs.
Remind me, do you use estoy or ser for like, I am nervous? Is it?
Oh, let's
estoy
think about that.
nervioso?
This is something we're going to revisit again very soon. Let's think about this. Would I use estoy or ser or estar in any form, right? With you can use both, but it's going to convey a very different. It's going to convey a very different idea. Okay, por ejemplo, I'm going to give you an example. Any of you remember? Okay, I'm dating myself here. Anybody remember that old? Oh, the young people, you're not going to know this, but Andy Griffith's show. You know, Don Knotts
Yeah.
Don Knotts, that old actor, Don Knotts.
Oh, yeah.
Que descanse en paz, may he rest in peace. Okay. He was, but I'll put it in present so that other folks know. Es un actor, es una persona nerviosa. His character was always a fidgety type, but always, that's the way he always was, a bundle of nerves waiting to pop. So if you say soy nerviosa, you're saying I am on the edge. That's the way I am all the time. I am a bundle of nerves all the time, right? And generally, we're not going to say that about ourselves, even if we think we are, right? Okay. So, but you know, if you're dissing, if you're dissing one of your neighbors for being a nervous Nelly, right? Yeah. Oh God, man, she drives me crazy because she's always on edge about stuff. Mi vecina es muy nerviosa. Well, she's like that all the time. That's part of her personality makeup, and you cannot take that away. It's just always there. Okay. She's generally like that, but conveys a very, very, very different idea from, está muy nerviosa por la salud de su esposo. She's very nervous on account of her husband's health. Okay. So, okay. Pie chart. If you take a percentage of the pie chart, what's, most of the time you're going to use estar with nervioso. Most of the time. Because most of the time when we use that word nervioso, we're talking about something that is changeable, isn't 100% of the time, but is a condition that is there because of a special circumstance that is not there all the time. Es buena pregunta. That's a really good question.
Una pregunta.
Sí.
Don't you use tener with nerviosa also?
You could, es posible. It is possible. But I would say more than tener, maybe dar with nervios, not nervioso. Okay, por ejemplo, an example. So what I'm telling you is stay away from tener, but you may hear this instead. Dar with a pronoun in front of it. Me da nervios. Here's the chunk of words. Me da nervios. Nerves, not nervous, but not nervioso, but nervios. Okay, por ejemplo, me da nervios usar herramientas eléctricas. It makes me nervous using
electrical tools.
Using electrical tools.
So it makes me nervous.
It gives me the nerves. Yeah. But the easy way, and if you want to practice it, I'm not saying you can't, but the easy way is to use estar with nervioso. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to pop that up again one more time and pronounce those one more time so you can see them. Artista, atractivo, totalmente, brillante, which we can pronounce as brillante with a little j, but not a big j, or brillante. Either of those pronunciations is great. And nervioso. Bien? Bien? I'll give you 5. I want you to create some sentences, something independent. We'll send you off for 5 more minutes. I'll check on my cutting. Hopefully you did not hear the profanity going on in the kitchen regarding the bushes. Here we go. Okay. Oh, and Diane, I need to assign you momentito.
You threw me out completely.
Oh, well, now not anymore.
Okay.
Oh, and you know what? I need to reassign you. Hang on. I need to reassign you into Jan's room. Okay. There we go.
Okay.
Está bien.
Okay.
It does that sometimes. It did it to me today. Okay. 5 minutos. 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Wow. Okay. Here, I got 5 minutes. Okay. Oh, good. How much can you have?
The
I'll take it.
numbers are still in the front. Just say
Okay.
that They're sitting on the pad with the air conditioner.
Oh. Okay, no.
They're next to their workspace. Good.
Uy, a ver. Okay. For those of you tuning in late, yes, the contractors needed a bush cut out. And Tiger, don't you mess with my computer stuff. Okay. Menos de 2 minutos. Okay. A ver. Ay, 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 ay. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Stay off my computer. Tigre. No subas, no. Ahora no. Vete. Vete. Oye, gatito, no. Fuera. Fuera. Bye. No. Ah, eso no. Que vete. My cat is trying to knock off all my stuff. Okay. Uy, a ver, ok. Bien, 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 bien. Vamos aquí. Perdón. Ok, aquí bien. Ah, bien, 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 bien. Vale, ¿dónde está todo el mundo? Wow, where is everybody else? Aquí vienen. Here they come. Okay. Poco a poco, little by little, folks will trickle in here.
How about this one, Cindy? Estoy nervioso cuando hablar con los españoles.
Sí.
Ah, el ejemplo es estoy nervioso o if you're a woman, estoy nerviosa. If you really talk about yourself, estoy nerviosa cuando hablo con
Oh,
sí, con los españoles, con los mexicanos. Ah, con los hispanohablantes.
oh,
Hispanohablantes. Con las personas que hablan español como nativos. Sí, con los nativos del idioma español. Ok, bien. Ok, otros ejemplos, other examples.
I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna combine with the first one here. I don't know if this is correct. You can correct me. I'm trying about I use the violencia and totalmente. So, la violencia armada en los Estados Unidos es totalmente miedo.
Totally scary.
What is the gun in is it armada is correct word?
Arma, yeah. Arma is
Armada?
very arma.
Only arma, okay.
Arma
Okay.
would mean a weapon.
So, la violencia arma en los Estados Unidos es totalmente miedo.
Oh, perdón. Okay. Gun violence. Okay. Violencia con armas. Violencia con armas.
So, no la violencia.
No, you could say la violencia armada. You could la violencia con armas, meaning using weapons. Gun violence, we say in English, right? Como decimos en inglés, gun violence. La violencia con armas.
Con armas. Okay.
Es espantosa, scary. Es espantosa. Or,
so I cannot use that like es totalmente miedo.
Es totalmente espantosa. Espantosa, scary.
Oh, espantosa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miedo means fear.
Okay.
Is it miedo? Miedo?
Miedo, yeah, miedo. Sí, se pronuncia miedo. You pronounce that miedo. You pronounce that very beautifully. Miedo means fear, but that's a noun. So if we want to say scary, scary, most people will use the word espantosa. I will put that up on the board.
Okay.
Yeah, espantosa. There are different words again you can use, but I'll put this up so you can see what it looks like. And that, yeah, espantosa, if you're talking about violencia, but it might be espantoso, of course.
Okay.
Scary, yeah. We could just as easily use the word like alarmante, alarming.
Oh.
Right? Horrible. Right? There are a lot of descriptions we could use for that, right? Scary, espantosa, ¿sí? Miedo is a noun. So, tengo miedo, and you know that because we say tengo miedo. Por ejemplo, tengo miedo a la violencia con armas. I'm scared of gun violence. Tengo miedo de, and those chunks of words will hang together. Tengo miedo de la violencia con armas. Exacto.
Okay.
Perfecto. But would somebody get what you said? Absolutamente. Sí. Ok. Bueno, otro ejemplo. Y buena pregunta.
Gracias.
Yo
Una
tengo un-
pregunta sobre brillante.
Brillante. Bien.
Sí. Podemos usar brillante cuando describir Einstein como Einstein era brillante.
Sí, exacto. Brillante puede, puede describir, puede describir a una persona o a una luz. It can describe light. It can describe a thing. It can describe a person, as we do in English. Okay. Por ejemplo, Einstein es una persona brillante de la historia científica. Einstein is a brilliant person in scientific history. Elon Musk es una persona brillante, loca también, pero brillante, sí. Okay. Por ejemplo, Steve Jobs fue una persona brillante, ¿sí? Steve Jobs fue brillante. Bill Gates fue brillante en crear Microsoft. Ok. O podemos decir, ay, la luz del sol es muy brillante. Wow, the sun's light is very brilliant. O podemos decir, pintar la casa con este color es una idea brillante. Wow, painting the house this color is a brilliant idea. Igualmente, same way, we can use brillante for many different things, many applications as we do in English.
So it's not just brilliant, it's also bright. Is that what that means?
Brilliant, bright, yeah. But brilliant could describe light. Brilliant could describe an idea.
Okay.
Brilliant could describe a person. So just as it's a very broad word that can talk about a physical thing like the intensity of light or a person or an idea, it can do that same thing in Spanish. And buena pregunta, good question. And this totalmente is generally going to follow the verb it talks about. So I'm going to give you a quick example of that. Totalmente. Estoy totalmente de acuerdo. I completely agree. Or I agree totally. Entiendo totalmente este concepto. I understand this concept totally. I get it. I get all of it. Totalmente. Entiendo. I understand. Entiendo totalmente. Entiendo totalmente lo que dice Einstein. I understand what Einstein says perfectly. No es verdad, not true. Okay.
¿Cómo se dice?
Es muy brillante.
No soy tan brillante, no. Perdón, bueno, Lisa, tienes...
Genius. ¿Cómo se dice genius?
Oh, genius, un genio. Un genio, voy a escribirlo. Qué buena pregunta. Brillante, we can also use the word genio. That means genius. Oh, perdón. I got to hit my share button. Genio. Genio. It looks like genius, but we pronounce it differently. So notice this is that same idea of many words will have a Latin root So that really is the same idea as genius, and it's spelled the same way, but we got to pronounce it the Spanish way. Genio. Okay. Por ejemplo, el cientista, the scientist, el cientista es un genio. The scientist is a genius. Ese doctor, that doctor, ese doctor es un genio. De verdad. He is truly a genius. Bien?
Can I ask you a question? Does the word genius, does it have to match feminine and masculine?
It would have to
Okay.
do that. Yeah. If you were talking about a lady who is a genius, you would have, genia. Genia.
Okay.
And there's kind of a related word, which I'm not going to put in bold, but you can probably, and here is again an example of how we can twist, but this is something that's not a uniform that I can say, do this all the time. You just kind of go with the feel of, oh, I've heard this used in context. We've got a related word, genial. Genial is very much akin to this idea brillante. And look, genial comes from the same root of the thing or person, genio, genius. Genial is the descriptive, not the noun. Genio is the noun. It's a person, right, who's a genius. But genial is the description. So, ay, qué idea genial. What a genius of an idea. What a brilliant idea. Genial is very much a synonym for brillante, a word that is in the same vein as brillante. But we would not use genial to talk about physical light. You can do that with brillante. You cannot do that with genial. Es una idea brillante. It's a brilliant idea. Es una idea genial. Wow, that's again, it means a brilliant idea, a phenomenal idea, right? People may think whatever you said was profoundly great. It was stupendous. They might say, genial. That's great. Genial. It's like saying super great. Genial. Okay. Bien. But you can see how some of these words are kind of connected, but genial is the descriptive side of genio. These are great, these little ideas that you are throwing out here and there. Wow, I was going to get through another list. We're not going to, but that's okay. Okay, lo que vamos a hacer, what we're going to do. I need to preview what you're going to do for the week. Oh, wow. I took some words in bold on the next slide, and I'll tell you in the email which number slide to look at and all that. And I'll give you some little directions at the bottom of the slide. I just popped out some words from Juan's video, the cognates and the things that are maybe not necessarily the false cognates. The ones in bold are false cognates. Although recordar, well, okay. To my very bizarre way of thinking, I will admit, is a false cognate, but you know, when you record something, you do it so you can
Remember it.
So there's a kernel of truth in that, even though it is a false cognate, I guess. Yeah. These words here are true cognates. These words came from his videos. He said, oh, the ones that are in bold, I want you to think about some ways we can talk about them next week. In the same vein that you did today, like a little short sentence, right? And these are words, and I think what I may need to do is give the actual English translation so you don't have to go through the whole long video again. So I'll modify this a little bit to make it easier. So I want you to think about these words in bold. So choque means a crash. Yeah, choque or a shock. Choque. A clash. Yeah. Contestar does not have anything to do with a contest. It means to answer a question, to answer someone. It is the same thing as responder. But while responder is a perfect cognate, because we have the word respond, respond means the same thing as answer. They're just two words that mean the same thing. So responder and contestar really mean the same thing. They're just two different words we use to say the same idea, okay? But I want you to see if you can use contestar in a sentence. Éxito. Here's the biggie. Éxito does not mean exit. Éxito means success. Yeah.
You had these up on the screen?
Oh, are they not on the screen? Perdón.
No.
My bad.
I was trying to write them, but I didn't know if I had the right.
Go.
There we go.
No, you don't need to write them because you'll see them. Here, perdón. Disculpen, forgive me. Choque, yeah, and they'll be in bold. And I'll get definitions with these. And I put things in bold because these are words I think you will hear more in common. The other words are actually great words. They're actually great words, but I think the ones you'll actually physically use, actually speaking, will be these ones in bold. So I'm going to want you to see if you can prepare a little shorty sentence using each of these words next to present this week, and we'll present them to the big group. Choque means a crash or a clash, or choque. Contestar means to answer. Éxito means success, not an exit. It's a false cognate. That's truly a false cognate. Largo does not mean large. Largo means long in length. Okay, long in length. Although it still talks about size, but not the way we think. So largo is not large. Key Largo. Think Key Largo. In Florida, Key Largo gets that name because Key is a K. It means it's a little island, yeah. And Largo, it means it's a skinny, long-shaped island. That's why it got that name. It's a skinny, long-shaped island. Okay, think of Key Largo. Mayor is older, yeah. Not a mayor, as we have in English. And pie is not a pie, it's your foot, right? Recordar is to remember, but again, that one, el truco, the little trick is that really we do record something in order to remember it. So, you're recording in your brain, I guess is the way we can think of that. But recordar really means to remember. And remember, that is a little UE stem change. If you actually conjugate it in present, that little O is going to get a UE stem change. If you actually use it, if you leave it as unconjugated, then it stays as recordar. Ropa is not rope. Ropa is clothing. And salada, or I should say salado, because you might hear it in either form, masculine or feminine, is salty. It does not mean salad. It looks like our word salad, but it doesn't mean a salad at all. It means salty. Something that has no, not necessarily too much. Something that has a lot of salt. Salado. Okay. So those are going to be your challenge words. And then I'm going to want you to look at these false cognates. Maybe I'll actually put this ahead of the other ones so that you kind of take a look at the contrasts of words that are false cognates, and I'll flesh those out and add some things to it so that they're easier to interpret. But what you're going to kind of do is to try to create some sentences with the bold words that are false cognates. We'll continue in that vein and maybe get a little bit into the ser estar business for now. Make sense? See? Okay, I'm going to for a fun, got nothing to do with grammar little story for just listening comprehension, but it's going to be a very, very easy level. You'll be able to turn on closed captions. I want you to create some words using some false cognates, but using them the right way. And we'll do that part all together. And we'll talk a little bit about these false cognates. And we're going to dip our feet back into a little bit of some of the description words, some of which will be kind of look like familiar English words, but not always. It'll be a little of this, a little of that. Using description words, adjectives, that is, with ser and estar. There are going to be some words that are a little bit tricky that can be used with ser or can be used with estar, but the meaning is going to change. And we'll revisit that because ser and estar is always a good thing to revisit every once in a while. So we'll get into that topic for the coming week. ¿Está bien? Good?
Está bien. Gracias.
Está bien, gracias.
Magnifico, magnifico. Okay, so we'll go with that with next week, and send me any questions or requests for things you want to do that you want to make sure I include this session, and I'll gladly weave it in. We can always do that. Okay, ¿está bien?
Está
Fantástico.
bien.